So whether we've missed the boat is a question to you. I feel there's a paradox. Uh, on the one hand, we have theoreticians and who can talk at length of theories to explain practices of community development. And I've seen them, I've worked in the community health field and I've seen epidemiologists talk about it. I feel health, community, all theoreticians talk. And on the other hand, I keep running into practitioners. I see myself as a practitioner working within the framework of primary healthcare, where community participation is one of the articles in the Declaration for People's Health. And the practitioners, I find, get so busy with their practices that they don't analyze their work to build theories. And so I was told by my Chinese professor when I was studying Chinese thought that while theories can be empty, the practices can be dangerous. So when practices are not in a way engaged with theories, they can be dangerous. Then my favorite person I subscribe to is Paulo Freire, who really pulls together theory and practice and says theory becomes simply blah, 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 and practice pure activism. And so he's also drawing attention to the relationship between the two. And I love the Immanuel Kant, an Enlightenment thinker. Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. So this is simply to vindicate my concern of the dilemma between the theory. So I'll take you through this 2x2 table. If you see it, so I've said we have these 4 cells: theoreticians, people who do theorize or who do not theorize, those who are in practice, those who are not in practice. So we find A is the cell where the practice and theory meets. My question to all of you is, where are you? Are you in cell C or you are in cell B? Because I find in my practice, I'm constantly struggling to keep the two together. I keep running into people who belong to C and D. And where do we wish to be? I feel we need to be here in cell A. And my observation of over 25 years of work experience, that the theoreticians you find in the academia and the community development in practice, whether these are community-based health workers or healthcare people, or all community-based work, I find are the community development. And one of the largest sector is the rural support program in Pakistan, which is in hundreds and thousands of villages involved in practice and no theorizing. So my question is, how do we get to cell A where the two combine? So community development needs to be, I feel, if we want the centrality of people who need to work for well-being, who have a right to their well-being, then we need the outsider has to be in cell A. Community development team need to have those who can analyze and theorize practices and feed into the practices for the improvement. But they are partners of the practitioners. They are not these experts sitting God knows where. So CD should not get reduced to working mechanically. This is what I've seen. You work mechanically, you develop your monitoring system and report on what you've done and how well you've done, and you don't look at the community ownership of the issues they face, and with communities holding duty bearers accountable. One speaker earlier on was talking about the communities not having control. I think that's the part. Community can have control. The systems are botched up. And so unless community development is seen as a political act, communities will be made to adapt to the environment instead of changing it. Here I'm using Freire's definition of what does it mean to be human. And he says human beings change the environment and animals adapt to the environment. So my question really then is to all of us to see where they are in the cell, which I had shown earlier. Where do they want to be? And so that we can, and I also believe, of course, there'll be challenges in getting to cell A, You tell me, I can write a book on the challenges to get to cell A, but both of commitment and of pedagogies. But I feel this is another issue, not of my presentation, where I wanted to really highlight that who has missed the boat. I'm saying both parties are missing the boat. And who then drowns is the people who need to improve their life. So the overall structures are missing and the change theory seems to be missing. I feel very strongly that the practitioners need to know what they're doing. They can take help from people like Paulo Freire, who gives a social transformation framework. And the theoreticians have to go beyond their theorizing and get into partner with practices. So I'll end here with a call that we need a dialogue between all of them, dialogue between the theoreticians and the practitioners. So people from, I loved what the earlier speaker was saying. I think that's the approach to follow. But how many in countries like Pakistan, I can say in Pakistan, our academia does not engage with people. So I end with this.